to welcome everybody to the life cycle of a converting Facebook ad. And so we are going to be presenting to you, between myself, Patti Sampson, and Travis Thom, a great presentation to you about how you can do some amazing lead generation using Facebook, but also how you can convert more of those leads, because we know that the money is not necessarily in lead generation, right, Travis? We really think we need to learn how to convert some stuff. So that's what our focus is today. And I want to welcome our fabulous Travis. I'm going to give him an opportunity here to introduce himself. But I did want to just, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Patti Sampson. I am a 16 year and a half real estate agent in the city of Scottsdale, Arizona. And I currently rolled out my own CRM because I have been helping agents in the niche of lead conversion, because I've spent years working thousands of my own leads in my own business. So when you realize your first year in real estate, you close 42 deals working like a mad woman in 110-degree heat. Back then, I knew I had to have some systems in place, so I learned how to use many other CRMs and now have rolled into my own CRM system. And so, but what we're here is not necessarily to promote the CRM as much as we are to promote the fact that you really need to have follow-up systems in place, as well as a good lead generation process in place. So if you see the pictures of me and Chris and Travis, if they're in the way, you can put them to the side or just grab them and drag them around if they get in the way of anything we're doing. But I want to welcome our special guest, Travis Thom from Elevated Real Estate Marketing. Travis, how are you? Thank you so much for joining us today.
I'm doing awesome. Thanks, Patti, for having me. Congratulations on building an amazing CRM.
Thank you. Thank you. It's been out since, well, the software's been around for a while, but I've been in it, working it for our company now since January, and it's going like gangbusters. So we're trying to get the word out more. But
that's great.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. So Travis, tell us a little bit about yourself, or maybe you want to switch over and put on your, well, you know what, let me do this first. Let me talk just a little bit about what we're hoping to get accomplished today, and then I'm going to hand it over to you. First of all, we are here for the life cycle of a Facebook ad that converts. So it's not just about creating ads, as it is also going through the whole process of making sure that we have something in place to automate our follow-up. So this is just a quick little, kind of a life cycle, basically, what we're going to go through and what you should be sure you do. And I'm sure Travis is going to have a lot to say more on the first 6 or things I have on here. But we have to figure out first who our perfect audience is, right? We can't do this until we know who our niche is. So if you've got 1 or 2 or 3, and Travis, I'm sure, will elaborate on that, that would be the way to go. Then you have to know what your audience is. Make sure who you have your audience set up, right? And so that ad actually is attractive to that audience, right? We call it the perfect avatar for anyone who's done any major marketing stuff. Then Travis will talk more about creating and converting ad copy, whatever that is, and whatever your content is, to get people to notice you wherever you're going to be on Facebook. And then, of course, your options for lead capturing, right? However you're going to lead capture, whether it be in a Facebook form or a lead squeeze page, right? And then automating that import from your leads coming in out of there into your CRM. And we'll talk a little bit about that when you get to me later. And then, of course, follow-up. Now, for me, it's always related to the ad itself. So we're going to talk a lot about making sure we've got that ad matching. The follow-up campaign matching the ad, which is, I think, where a lot of us fall off the face of the earth, because we're using pre-existing drip campaigns in some of our systems that aren't so great, and not every Facebook ad matches every drip campaign that's in these systems. So this is where we're going to talk more about that. Long-term needs to be ready to go, right? And then when do you stop it? Whenever they tell you stop, and then also sending them back to get listings. And this is a part I think a lot of people miss. So we're going to talk about that as well when we get to my section, after we talk about how we generate leads. Okay. All right. Awesome. So we're ready to rock and roll. Let's go. Travis, let's do it.
Let's do it.
Look at that. Oh, yeah, I got my little buttons here too. I got to get that going. So I'm going to stop share. I'm going to let Travis take over here with his presentation.
Oh,
yeah, while he's doing that, I'll show you. I got this. Yes.
Well,
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, you might need to make me host and co-host for that one.
Okay, let me see if I can get that fixed for us, Travis. Yeah. Make a co-host. There we go. All right. Should be good now.
Perfect.
I hope. There we go.
All right.
Yay.
Well, as Patti mentioned, I'm a Facebook marketing strategist for the real estate industry, and I'm a certified Facebook marketing partner. I run Elevated Real Estate Marketing. It's a Facebook advertising agency and a Facebook training and coaching program as well. And over the past couple of years, we've generated over 650,000 leads from Facebook and Instagram. We have some clients that spend $50,000 a month in Facebook advertising. Some clients only spend around $400 to $500 a month in Facebook advertising. So we really get to see kind of a wide, diverse range all over the globe. We run campaigns internationally and then on a national scale and then also on a hyper-local scale. So with that, we get to see a lot of data of what works and what doesn't work, and we're going to show some of that to you today. I'm also an advisor to Facebook headquarters and a consultant to Facebook. I sit on Facebook's advisory board for the real estate vertical, so I get to fly out to Facebook every once in a while and kind of brainstorm and mastermind with their team over there. So some of the information I'm going to share with you is information that I've learned over the past couple of years from running a lot of ads, and then also information from Facebook directly. So let's dive into it. So today what we're going to do is really kind of go over a Facebook marketing masterclass. And as Patti mentioned, we're going to be going over a few different things. I want to get you a little bit more involved in the understanding of how a Facebook ad works, what you need to do to create a high converting Facebook ad, and how to craft better ads to reach the right people, right? And then what strategies are we using that actually generate leads and that are working really well right now. So we're going to cover a couple different things today. And one of them is going to be how to create a high converting Facebook ad. So as we start to create an ad, we need to keep in mind that we're focused on conversion, right? Conversion optimization and getting people to actually click on an ad. So what creates a high converting Facebook ad? And when you hear me talk about converting and conversion, we're going to be talking about a couple different types of conversion. One is a digital conversion, where we're getting them to convert into becoming a lead by giving, they're going to give us their information, right? Name, email, phone number, all those kind of details. Now, Patti's going to talk about the other type of conversion, which is converting the lead into an actual client, right? So there's two different types of conversions to keep in mind. But the first one, we need to really focus on striving for a high click-through rate, getting people to click on an ad and move forward to the next destination. That could be a Facebook lead ad, could be to a landing page, whatever it might be. Before we can actually get them to turn into a lead and create a conversation, we have to get them to click on the ad. So the standard click-through rate, industry standard click-through rate on a national scale is typically 1%. And click-through rate means they're clicking on the ad. They're actually tapping on it, clicking on it, and then opening up a lead ad or going to the landing page, whatever it is. So we need to strive for 1% and above. Copywriting, we need to capture their attention. Copywriting is a skill set that a lot of people forget about when creating good ad copy. So I'm going to go over what that looks like. And then thumb stopping ad creative, which we'll dive into in just a minute here. So what are the key essentials of Facebook ad copywriting? Well, to understand that, we need to know the visual hierarchy. The visual hierarchy of an ad is focused on the image, the main headline, the main copy, what we call a top copy or secondary copy, and then a call to action. We live in a very highly visual world where we're trying to register within a couple nanoseconds is something relevant or of interest to us, right? Should we pay attention to it? Is it a waste of time? Is it something that is going to benefit me? So for us, we need to understand how that visual hierarchy actually works. Well, most people are going to read this. About 90% of you are going to read it exactly how it's laid out right here, right? You will read this first. This is how people read Facebook ads. They're going to see the ad first, the ad image. Their eyes are going to float down to the headline and then float back up to the actual top copy and read it. So what this tells us is that the image is really, really important, right? And the ad image is so important that there is a study done by a company called Consumer Acquisitions that researched around 100,000 Facebook ads in conjunction with Facebook. They did eye tracking, they tracked campaigns, and through 100,000 Facebook ads, they saw that the ad image is responsible for up to 90% of the campaign's performance, which is pretty huge when you think about actual ad and ad copy and what goes around into it. So if all the eyeballs are on the ad image, that tells us a couple of things we need to focus on, right? We need to leverage the real estate on the actual ad creative, summarizing what the ad is offering on the actual ad creative. And you can do that using Canva or Snappa.io, all sorts of editing tools where you can upload an image and then layer on some sort of PNG graphic or call to action or some sort of text that would tell them, tap here to see all the details or whatever it might be. And then a call to action, really telling them, take the next step, click here to download the list of homes, whatever it might be. Our whole process of the ad image is to really tell them a story as fast as possible without having to use a lot of words. So within about a second and a half here, you should get a pretty good idea what this ad is about, right? The top 5 reasons agents fail at real estate. And then your eyes might float up to the top and understand that this is offering a free guide about how to avoid all the pitfalls and mistakes. So what an ad image does is it creates intrigue. It creates interest where you look at it and you realize you want more, and then you start to dive in a little bit deeper if it's relevant to you. And then you click on it and move forward and become a lead. Well, this was from a Facebook ad campaign where we were doing an agent recruitment campaign for a client. We had about 12 different ads, and this ad image was the winning ad creative in that set because it got the most amount of engagement and the highest click-through rate. Because again, we summarized what the ad was offering. Now, you don't always have to do that, but it is a benefit. We use a copywriting formula for ads called ADIA: attention, interest, desire, and action. This is the copywriting formula that typically gets the best response, the highest type of engagement that ends up in a high click-through rate. So attention, right? We need to pull in their attention with a relevant image, really just try to get them to actually stop and recognize, is this something that's relevant to me and what's in it for me? And then interest, describing in the ad copy, typically something that's going to be of interest to them, some sort of offer, right? Could be a free list of homes, could be a buyer guide or a seller guide, but it has to create interest. And then desire. With every kind of ad, there's typically some sort of promise, right? And with most Facebook advertising, most advertising in general, there's a promise to enhance that person's life and make it better in some form or fashion. So the desire that we're doing is we're building up desire by telling them what they're going to get on the other side, explaining what the promise is, and then making sure that they understand that promise and telling them how we're going to fulfill that promise. And then the action. This is a big important part. You need to tell them to take the next step. The action part is all about click here to see the list of homes. Tap download to see all of the homes that have just hit the market. If we don't have the desire part, we don't have the action part, we only have the attention and interest, then it's really just a public service announcement, right, at that point. It doesn't provide anything else. It just is telling them, hey, look at this, but we're not telling them to take the extra step. I see a lot of people run ads or they post on Facebook where they say, here's 17 photos of a property and just listed. I'm so excited, so happy for the sellers. Well, what next, right? Tell us what to do. What's in it for me? What's on the other side? Why should I care? And if you don't do those things, then it's going to get, well, less engagement. It's not going to really get a lot of engagement in the ad auction. Facebook is an auction bidding platform. So they use what's called the BEAR algorithm, which stands for bidding, expected action, and relevancy. The expected action part of the algorithm looks for high engagement. Click-through rate is typically the one they look for. What is the expected action? If it's not receiving a high engagement rate, it's not getting people to click on it and move forward, well, then it's going to say, this is a suboptimal ad experience for our user base. Let's suppress it in the ad auction. Let's make sure it doesn't get out to more people. And those that do have a higher click-through rate, that are spending a little bit more or getting better engagement because they've designed their ads to the best-in-class standards, we're going to feed that out to more people. And then the ad that doesn't starts to get buried, and the cost per lead goes up. The quality of lead goes down because it's going to be served to the lowest bottom barrel type of leads. So just kind of keep that in mind and why this is so important. All right, here's an example for you on some of the ad copy. Attention, using some sort of aerial image that's hyper-local, some landmarks to the area, really pulling in their interest. It could be an image of a community gate that you drive into, right? Ridgecrest, see all the homes at a Ridgecrest. You got to pull them in with something that is relevant to them as far as imagery. Interest, we put together a free list of homes for sale priced under X amount. And the desire, some of these homes even qualify for special financing programs, right? Again, talking to the desired audience. This is built for first-time home buyers. So the ad copy here works really well because we're identifying a free list priced under a certain amount in this area. We show the image of the area, and then we tell them to check out these listings, and that some of these homes are perfect for first-time home buyers, and some of them even qualify for special financing programs, right? We're building desire, and then action. Click here to view the homes under X amount. This ad here has generated over 4,000 first-time homebuyer leads. It's a pretty phenomenal ad. All you do is you swap out the city with the right type of entry-level price. And I did a presentation in Seattle several months ago. It was brought to my attention there are no homes priced under $349,000 in the Seattle area. I think they all started like 1.8 million. So just swap the actual city name with the right price.
Definitely not Scottsdale or Phoenix. I wish.
Yeah.
I wish.
So this was for I believe this was for Ohio that we ran this originally for, and swapped out some of the actual ad copy. But yeah, just choose the appropriate price range. It's just kind of a templated type of ad copy that I wrote a while back. All right, so animated ads is another thing that we've really learned a lot about, which is that typically animated ads get a 20 to 30% higher click-through rate and about a 300 to 500% higher engagement rate. When the reason why is because people navigate through the mobile newsfeed 2.5 times faster than they do on desktop. And about 90% of the leads that are generated are mobile. So if you think about it, if someone's scrolling through as fast as possible, but they see this, it's fast imagery, it catches their eye. And then if we look at the actual copywriting on the ad, it's using the formula, right? Realize your dreams, affordable and attractive homes, download the list today. We really summarize exactly what we're offering without even needing a headline or ad copy. The ad creative is doing the heavy lifting here, which gets a much higher click-through rate, right? Get a complete list of foreclosures, bank owned homes in the area. It appeals to the right audience, giving them the right offering. So you don't have to create or design your own. You can hire an advertising agency. My agency designed these. On your own. Where's that opportunity? Oh.
And
I lost my mic here.
Okay. I was so busy looking at all your videos. Are these videos or GIFs then normally?
They're GIFs, but they're actual animated videos inside of Facebook ads.
Awesome.
Yeah. So, if you want to create this on your own, you can. I did it myself. I wanted to test out Facebook's new video creation tool. And if you haven't experienced, it's pretty easy. I went in and I said, you know what, I'm going to just try their tool with some static images. So I went in, I created an ad for a fake listing. It's a listing that wasn't real, but I decided, you know what, let's run an ad for a week and see what happens. So ran this test ad, and you can see I got a 13% click-through rate on the ad. Now, industry standard, if you remember, is 1% click-through rate. If we get 2 or 3%, that's really good. If we get 4, 5, 6, that's great. Anything beyond that is going to reach that kind of phenomenal type of level. And not because I created it, but because it showed that quick animated images with text over them gets higher engagement, which equals higher click-through rate, right? And click-through rate is going to generate more leads at a lower cost per lead. So it's going to get basically more traction, right? More action if we design it properly. And I'll explain to everyone in just a little bit here at the very end about how to create those animated ads on their own. So real estate targeting has changed again, right? This has been a big frustration for a lot of people trying to run real estate ads. And it's been a big issue, and a lot of people just kind of given up because they're not quite sure what to do with it. So now when you log into the Facebook Ad Manager, there's the special ad category. You've got to choose either housing, employment, or credit. If your ad falls underneath any one of those, then you need to choose special ad category. This all resulted in, HUD had a disagreement with Facebook, or a lawsuit, whatever you want to call it, right? Facebook and HUD got together and said, okay, we understand that you believe that we're giving people too much access to tools that may allow them to discriminate. So we're going to go ahead and restructure how that actually operates and works. So now when you log in and you create a campaign, you can no longer target by zip code, right? That's unavailable. It'll now be a 15-mile radius of the city center or the property address or wherever you drop a pin. Now, we're not too concerned about that because we're big on big data, right? I read a lot of data, historical data on how things work in real estate. And historically, about 60 to 70% of most home buyers purchase a home within a 12 to 14-mile radius of their previous address. So if we think about that, it's not that big of an impact, right? It's not that big of a deal. Age, right? That's also locked down. Gender, that's also locked down. I did a webinar early this morning and someone had kind of freaked out about the whole age thing of like, well, who buys a home that's 18? Guys, it's okay. Facebook is not going to serve ads to the 18-year-olds, even though it says we can't really mess with the age. Don't get too concerned. We've got clients that spend millions of dollars on Facebook advertising, and they wouldn't do that if this didn't work. So I'm going to dive into how that kind of works in just a little bit here, but just want to kind of lay it on the table there. All right, some detailed targeting is also removed, right? We used to be able to target people sometimes by saying, okay, I want to target a single female with that drives a Lexus that has 2 kids under the age of 14 that they play soccer and she makes an income of $250,000 a year with a net worth of 1.3 million that lives in these 3 zip codes. We used to be able to target that way, right? But now some of the targeting has been removed. So just to recap, can't target by age, can't target by gender, can't target by detailed targeting, some detailed targeting. Location, got to have a 15 minimum mile radius. Lookalike audience, right? The big concern was that this was the death of real estate targeting, right? This was the big talk of the town for several months, but not really.
So Travis, really quick, we have a question about, while we're on the subject, targeting to vacation homes and second home markets. I live in one like that too, so I'm curious as well.
So if you're going to target outside of your area, and if let's say that it's a second home, vacation home type of place, you typically have a pretty good idea if you've been in the business for a while of who's coming from what states, right? And you can know that maybe it's 3 top states that are the people that are migrating from those areas, or they're buying homes from those areas. You can still target them, right? You can target outside of that. So for instance, let's say that we have people in Portland, Oregon that are moving to Scottsdale. Well, I would probably want to run an ad for a listing or a list of homes in basically saying, see all the homes in Scottsdale that you can buy that make great vacation homes. I would run that ad to Portland, Oregon, and I would basically type in Portland, Oregon, and it would be a 15-mile radius of everyone within that, Portland, Oregon radius. And then I'd probably put in some sort of targeting interest of that they like Scottsdale. They might like some spring
baseball,
training,
spring training, right? Yeah,
Cardinals. You might just try and layer in specific interests that identify that are relevant to Scottsdale, Arizona in general. And then layer in some real estate interest as well. So, yeah, I think people get a little too caught up in this. Facebook has made this really easy. You know, what happened in the past is too many people got caught up on, well, I can now target anyone and everyone, and I'm going to put in a laundry list of 20 different interests, and I've got an audience of 1.5 million people. Well, what happens there is anytime you put in a new targeting interest, you're basically adding on the opportunity to enter into new ad auctions, right, with more and more audiences. Well, when you do that, you start competing with Coca-Cola or a roofing company or an insurance company. You start competing with guys like me, right, that are spending a lot of money on Facebook because you're building and building your audience so big that you're entering into these other auctions, these other territories. And that can be really damaging to your campaign, because what Facebook says is, hey, you're going after way too many people. You're entering into all these auctions and you're not spending enough money. So what Facebook has done is made it so simple to where it's no longer where you would kind of go, let's say, sit down at a restaurant, there's that menu with 300 different items, and you get so overwhelmed of what to choose, so you're not quite sure. Well, with Facebook, what they've done is they've really solidified it to make it super, super easy. I'm going to go into exactly what that looks like. So just like any kind of challenge, right? Anything that comes up, we need to be able to build a better strategy around that. So those that are here today, investing in themselves, actually saying that I'm here and I want to learn, you have already surpassed your competition. The ones that say that Facebook doesn't work, the ones that have given up trying because they gave up on Facebook ad targeting, right? You're going to take over their market share by being able to be a little bit more positioned to adapt and actually create a better strategy. So I had a meeting with Facebook when they started to make some of these changes. And they told me, they said, Travis, in about 7 months, we're going to make these changes. And these changes are going to be pretty significant with targeting. So I suggest you start testing out new strategies. So what we did is we set aside around $95,000 and we tested out about 12 new strategies. And those 12 strategies, well, we whittled it down to about 3, and those 3 started to work really, really well. And actually, better cost per lead, better quality of leads, and better conversations that we started to have working with the new targeting, not the old targeting, but new targeting strategies as we move forward. So it's a combination of what we call broad interest targeting, top-level targeting, and then behavioral intent-based retargeting. And then now, special ad audience targeting. So the old strategies, right, they are now dead. So moving forward, these are the only ones that you can use to really target people and still get solid results. So broad interest targeting was a really interesting one for us when we first tested it out. We did it on a national scale and then a hyper-local kind of campaign. And it was counterintuitive. I didn't think that it would work. So I was really skeptical of how this was going to work out. And what I mean by broad interest targeting is that meaning very little to absolutely no interest targeting. So when you create a campaign and you say on a geographic level, I'm not going to use any targeting at all. I'm just going to say I'm running to this geographic area. I'm not going to put any targeting in, right? Right, super counterintuitive. But after talking to a couple of Facebook engineers about changes to the algorithm, it became really clear about why this campaign was successful for us. And they explained that Facebook has 50,000 unique data points on each one of its users. It's an extreme amount of data. So Facebook goes through our browsing habits, right? It knows which websites you were on 2 minutes ago, which website you went to next, which websites you were on 2 weeks ago or 2 months ago or 2 years ago. It then also knows your emails, right? It goes through some of your emails. It looks for keywords. It goes through conversations that you're having on Messenger or with people online. It can go through some of the blog articles that indicate different interests and pick up on that certain data. Facebook has what's called the Facebook Pixel, is a snippet of code that you get as a Facebook advertiser like myself, and you install it in the back end of your website to track what they're doing, build custom audiences. But on a deeper level, it will scan through the website and read all the schema data on the website to understand this website is about shoes. This website is about travel, right? it has billions of different types of data that is aggregated all across the world from billions of websites that's fed into the mothership, right? Fed right back into Facebook. So it can predict what you're going to be doing in the near future based on all your behaviors and habits online and offline. So it knows, did you buy the $500 necklace, or did you buy the $200 dress, or did you buy the $5,000 ring? Did you press the green button or the blue button? All of this on websites outside of Facebook. And this is, kind of maybe a little creepy to some people, but it's a digital gold mine. And this is what makes Facebook the leader in digital marketing. And this is why they make billions and billions of dollars, because they lead with big data, so we can run highly sophisticated ads to the right people. And so by doing this, by giving Facebook the freedom to actually say, make the decisions for me, find out who in the audience is going to be a good fit, you're letting Facebook's machine learning do all the heavy lifting. You just need to give Facebook the right ad copy, the right ad image, right? And then Facebook will start to really look at the ad image and look at the metadata on the ad. They'll look at the ad copy and realize it says homes and real estate and Scottsdale, right? Or a certain neighborhood. It'll then look at the destination URL and look at all of that schema data and realize, oh, this is an ad campaign about real estate. So we should serve this to people that are interested in real estate based on their behaviors and actions. So it's a great type of campaign. Really, it removes a lot of the head scratching, and you just let Facebook do the heavy lifting for you there.
So when you get in there, it will tell you you're going to do one versus the other, right? So however, the broad interest targeting, you'll get an option. Is that correct?
Well, basically, you just don't put any targeting interest in there, right? So when you just say, this is the area I'm going to target, let's say all of Denver, and then don't put any targeting interest in, right? And let it do the
wow,
action.
okay, that's awesome.
Or the other option is what we call top level targeting. And